Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Oh, nice. Yeah, I actually like this like way better than fucking whatever the McCullochs. No.
Yeah. What's the other one? What
Zoom.
is
Zoom.
Zoom? Yes.
This is a lot better.
Dude, so I tried like when I was trying to figure out how to do all this shit. Oh, let me move my camera. I tried Zoom at first, but that shit was actually kind of confusing.
Oh, really? Yeah,
And
I
then
don't know. I don't know as far as the admin shit goes and all that, but
Sean from Sup Talk was using this, and he showed me how to use this, and I was like,
yeah,
all right, I'll buy this subscription.
right. It's worth it.
Yeah. What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good.
What's up, buddy? You doing?
What's up, Nate? How are you, bud? Big guy.
What's up, man? How are you?
Good, man. Sick.
How's
the last
training
couple.
going?
Going
Sick.
good so far. Yeah,
Dude, a lot of people take the full
today.
winter, huh? It's been crazy, I feel like.
Yeah, I felt like terrible again this morning, but as the day progressed, I rested and whatnot, and I started to feel a little better, which was good. Luckily, I wasn't.
I saw your post. Actually, was it like it sounded like the flu maybe or something when it first
It
started?
seemed something like that. Yeah,
that sounded miserable when you described it. Holy crap!
it was rough. It was like my bones ached. Like I was aching into my bones, like the whole body.
Makes you feel like an old man.
Yeah, and I went to bed fine. I was already really sore from coming back from my week off from training, and I woke up 2 days ago and I was like, "What the fuck?" And like I put my first foot down on the ground and it just shot up my whole body, and I was like, "Oh, this is terrible." I felt like I had arthritis over my 90% of my body was rough.
God, that sounds miserable.
Yeah.
So what's up with you, Nate? How's Florida right now? Because up here sucks.
Dude, I don't even want to tell you because you're gonna hate me. But it's like 75 degrees and like just beautiful out. It's crazy.
Damn.
Like today was literally 80 and sunny. Like you guys were getting snow, right?
Oh, heavy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So
you guys are all sort of spread out. You guys are all sort of spread out though in New England, right? Like you're more like Western Mass, Chris, right?
Yeah, Auburn, Mass. So it's like right near Worcester. So like kind of Western or Central Mass, maybe.
Yeah. Not all the way Western.
Yeah, not like Springfield or Berkshires or anything.
And then you're like halfway up Maine.
Yeah, I'm like halfway up the state. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, dude. I keep telling Shay that like we don't have to live here. We don't we can move.
Right.
We can move.
Right.
It's not necessity that we live in a state that we hate half the time.
Honestly, the move to Florida was not that bad. I'm just saying, like, yeah, you save up some money, get prepared for it, invest in movers. It's not a bad process, honestly. Like for me, it was not that hard, and like the cost of living is the same, if not cheaper. So it's like depending where you're at. I mean, in Maine, it's probably not that bad, but in like Massachusetts and parts of southern New Hampshire, it's pretty expensive, bro. Cost of living.
Yeah, things are pretty expensive here now.
Yeah.
Well, when we came down, I liked Tampa way more than I ever expected I would.
Oh, Tampa's great, dude. There's so much to do all the time, bro. And like St. Pete isn't that far either. It's like 30 minutes, and there's a lot to do over there too. So it's like you got really a lot of going on, and the ocean, like Clearwater Beach, and there's so many beaches too. So it's like, yeah, you really can't beat it.
It was nice. I wish we could have got to do more when we were down there because like I got like selfish and I was like, oh, I want to go do like a fishing charter because I've never done like saltwater fish like in a tropical place.
Oh, of course, yeah, you got it, bro.
Yeah, stuff like
that. It's a different vibe.
Yeah. What's up, Sean?
Going on, gents? Nate, good to see you, brother. How are you?
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
Love the chat.
I saw you were training up with Mike. You made the trek up north.
Yeah, me, Mike, and Shay had a great night, man.
That's awesome.
Put me through the paces, hanging with the big dog.
Hell yeah! How was their gym up there?
Mike, you want to comment?
You can be truthful, Sean. You can be truthful.
It was okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I see like 2 benches and like 3 leg machines,
John's spoiled at that new gym. What is it? The gym you're at now? Cody's gym. What's it?
Oh, Cody, yeah, Uncaged.
Yeah, you're spoiled over at Uncaged, bro.
Do you know Cody?
Yeah, of course. I know Cody.
Yeah. Jim's fucking sweet.
Yeah, they're great people for sure. Him and Bree. Is it Bree?
Yeah, Brielle.
Yeah, Brielle, yeah. Yeah, they're awesome people. Damn, we got look at this, bro.
Oh, what's up, kid?
Full house.
Brendan, man, I didn't notice you with that shaved face. I'm like, wait, who is this?
It's part of his health phase to go clean shaven too.
I had a mustache in my rebound phase, and now that I'm in my health phase, I'm growing my beard back.
I usually do the beard prep. I grow it all the way and then I shave it, trim it right at the end. You know what I mean?
That's usually what I do too.
Yeah, you got to grow the beard out in prep.
I'm trying the mustache for the first time. It's really thick right now. I don't know how I feel about it, but I don't know. Shit like it, so I'm gonna keep it rocking for a bit.
See, you just have like the top part of that mustache. Like if I didn't have like the bottom part here when I had my mustache, I'd look like I try to lure you in the back of my van.
I told Mike you got to keep the beard off season. Makes the face look a little bit thinner. The beard covers the chunkiness a little bit. For me, that is.
Yeah, but you got to take the whole thing off, Mike. Take the bottom part now, and have just the mustache.
And just do that.
Do it.
This is an old school mustache. That's like OG. That's like OG. Like
right there. Holy shit!
Freshman year, Jordan freshman year, something. That like OG vibe.
Yeah, for real. Doug, what's happening, man?
Not much, brother. Just eating.
What up, bro? How we doing, Doug?
Same old Graham. What's good, big dog? How you, man?
Good. How we doing, my man?
Oh, man, same old Graham, brother. You know what I'm saying? Good to be
Big
here.
fan, bro. Big fan.
Oh, I appreciate it. Likewise. Thank you very much. Likewise. Yes, sir.
Thanks, bro.
Nate, I got to be honest, brother. You do your off-season pictures, though, but you stay lean. Like, you don't blow yourself out, which I give you a lot of credit. A lot of guys right now, they're just too big.
I think that I won't lie, though. I've definitely had some pretty chunky off seasons in my past, so I'm not 100%, innocent here, but definitely I guess it's probably just because I've been doing it for a while,
Yeah,
and it's a little bit easier the longer you've been sort of at it. Wouldn't you say, Dougie? He knows he's an OG.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean,
it'll get a little easier as you go.
What's that?
It gets a little easier as you go each year. You stay a little bit leaner each off season. I feel like.
Well, that's because you're putting on more muscle. So whenever you put more tissue on, it's it's going to be a little more difficult to actually store those fat.
Right.
So, Dougie, are you officially in prep yet or no?
Yes, indeed.
All right.
I'm officially in prep. I started basically.
You're in Pittsburgh, right?
Yep. I basically started a couple weeks ago. I kind of like mentally go into prep. But I just like Nate was saying, I pretty much this past year did really good in my off season with keeping my weight in check, not getting too big. It was explained to me like if I can put on the same amount of muscle, putting on less body fat, I'd rather do that.
I agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, this is a pretty good look right here, Nate.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually because I won't lie. I'm not lying. Like people will probably say I'm full of shit, but honestly, I'm only on 200 mgs a test. That's it for like the last 5 weeks. So I'm probably, when you just start to clean out. So I'm probably just on that brink of like, okay, now it's sort of getting out of that system. You know what I mean? But I feel really strong in the gym, and I still look pretty good. I mean, I'm not one of those people that's gonna. I know when I look decent and when I don't. I hate when people are like, "Oh yeah," like they play it up. It's like, no, I know I look pretty good for like, what I mean, not being on that much stuff. But I was just more surprised myself, honestly, that it's definitely because I'm leaner. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of power into being leaner. So I'm like 265 right here. My stage weight was 250. You know what I'm saying? So 15 pounds obviously is not much. So like I'm saying, like it's a little bit easier to maintain the look. So when I am off stuff, it's going to look better than if I was like 280, 290 and I was off, then it would look way sloppier, right? You know what I mean?
For sure. So what's the
leaner, you know what I mean? Like maintain a good look,
For sure. What's the plan for this year?
So I think I'm honestly going to take this year off and just try to keep growing and improving. I think I am honestly growing leaner. like I've been staying pretty lean, but I think I'm putting on some decent tissue and like improving in certain areas. So I'm like more or less looking at it like, how can I improve my overall look and package, not necessarily add a bunch of weight per se, because I think I'm at a decent, okay size now. I can obviously get bigger, but like I think if I focus on certain areas, it's going to be a better presentation of like, and be rewarded better, you know, like, so just improving my back and my width and just overall shape and outer sweeps on the quads.
I love to hear that, because I think a lot of people need to hear that, and there's no knock on how anybody goes through their process. But you know, I just was telling my coach just this past week that I feel really good in my cruise and all of my cruises, because I'm even in a cruise, I'm still pushing for progress. So I do my best to make sure I'm getting my sleep, if I can, as much sleep as I can, staying on top of my food, you know, keeping my cardiovascular endurance in check. And it just makes a world of a difference. Like I can honestly say, within the past 3 years on a cruise, I don't feel bad. I don't feel sluggish. I don't feel like I can't train hard. You know what I mean? And
it's all mental, bro. It's all mental.
It's cool to see though when you everybody doesn't understand all the nuances that go into bodybuilding. And speaking for myself, because I'm still learning, especially from the recovery standpoint. And because for a lot of us, this is a hobby, you do have a job or something else to do. We sacrifice in some areas, and for a lot of people, it's rest and sleep. The more I can sleep, get naps, the better I feel. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I'm a big believer in that, because I nap a lot now, and like I have a lot of opportunity to rest. And honestly, I put on so much more size when I had that opportunity, and that changed. And this was already after like training for 8 years, when I had that opportunity and like started coaching full time and started getting that rest in. And I honestly put on 10 pounds of stage weight that year when that transition happened. You know what I mean? So it's definitely, I definitely am a big believer in the rest part too. Like, and I've made huge progress when not only rest was in line, but also like positivity, like life is in a good area. I'm happy. There's no stress, like bills are paid. I have money saving, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Like everything is good. That's when the progress is like, that's when you ride that shit. You know what I mean? Like, cause that's when it's going to come. You know?
Isn't it crazy how much easier bodybuilding becomes when life gets in order a little bit more, like you said?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I remember years of like the times when it was like I checked my bank account to make sure I could pay the next bill. And like it felt like spinning your wheels with the bodybuilding aspect for a couple of years there before like I got into a financially better situation, a more stable relationship. And it's felt like ever since then, bodybuilding's become fun again and just taken off.
Oh, yeah, 100%, dude. And honestly, what I was saying earlier just about being lean too, I find so now, like, so I'm in a health phase now, is like when I go to blast the second time, I feel like I'm getting a second rebound because I'm already lean still, you know what I'm saying? So seeing where I'm at now and look at that, and then think about the response I'm going to get in 4 or 5 weeks, just being in that same area, you know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be really setting myself up for a good spot. And I still have an appetite too, which is good. So I can push the food up higher, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not killing myself on the food right now. But I am like on the training more or less. I'm relying more on the training, I guess I would say, and the recovery. Like Dougie said, recovery is huge right now. So like I'm getting like just optimal rest, optimal recovery. Like nothing is really going on outside of bodybuilding. You know what I mean? But that's how you bodybuild, you know?
Absolutely.
Nate, how long will you do this phase for?
So probably just another like 4 or 5 weeks, assuming that my blood work comes back, you know, everything's good. And I feel like last time I had blood work, it was pretty damn good. So I feel like I should be okay, you know, as far as like what trajectory I've been on. But I've also been, I won't lie, like this is another thing too, like a lot of people don't understand, but like there's health genetics too. And honestly, I've been blessed with pretty damn good health genetics, knock on wood. But each one of us, you know, is going to have a response. So you have the best genetics in the world, but if you go take 500 milligrams of testosterone and then your HDL, you know, is like 6, you know, you have a long road ahead of you trying to, you know, be a good bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have pretty much, or like there's a guy with estrogen issues, like, you know, their estrogen will go through the roof just from like 200 mg of testosterone, you know. So guys that just are not good responders as far as gear goes, and health too. Like I said, there's guys we know that actually were great bodybuilders that had to end their bodybuilding career short because of, health issues. And if they had maybe someone else's, health genetics, they probably could have, you know what I'm saying? So
Sure.
health genetics are huge in bodybuilding that a lot of people don't realize, So
Yes.
There's always like 3 types of people. You have the people that are hyper responders. They take like the least amount of stuff and they just grow like crazy. Then you'll have those guys that need to take a little more, but they have the health genetics on their side where their body almost handles the exposure to PEDs much better, with usually than very little issues. And then you have those people that like they take the tiniest amount of stuff and they have every side effects known to man and they don't grow.
Right. Exactly.
Terrible.
Right. No, there are people like that, and that's what I'm saying. It's like people like that are going to spin their wheels. So, but no, I've been blessed to have good health genetics, knock on wood. But I've had like CT scan done, which I suggest a lot of people do if they haven't, like a heart scan, just to see, if there's any blockage. I should probably do some more stuff, but that's as much as I've done as far as like outside of usually getting blood work done, usually like 2 or 3 times a year. So usually like right after prep and right before any time I do a cycle, pretty much, I always usually get blood work done first. So,
Heard calcium score is another good one to do.
Yeah, very
yeah,
important.
that's a great one too. Yeah,
It's funny because when I got into the bodybuilding world, I remember that not too many people talked about a lot of stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I was thankful that I have a coach that cared about his athletes. And I remember when he told me that I needed to get blood work done before we rolled into my North American prep. I'm like, what? He's like, dude, better safe than sorry. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, you suggested, I'm going to listen. But,
that's when you got a good coach too, though.
Man, I'm thankful, man, because like you said, I fortunately in my past 10 years had the same kind of situation. It's like I train well, I respond well. Knock on wood, I haven't had any serious injuries. No, you know what I mean. Like for me to 10 years in a row, I've done at least one show. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people don't understand the other side of bodybuilding. Like a couple of people ask me, like, I'll show sometimes I dump blood. People ask me, why do you do that? And I'm like, man, there's most people don't know that, when you run tests, you create more red blood cells. So you gotta dump blood, and you have people out here blindly running shit, not with the right people. You know what I'm saying? And that's how people get hurt. You know what I mean? And that's why, I'm careful about what I talk about, like doses and stuff, because I also know I have obligation to a lot of the young people in the community. And I never want somebody to ever try to do something that I'm doing, because I know that's also something that people do, and they just don't.
No, they're going
You don't know
to.
what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want somebody hearing me say something and then going to go try it and hurting themselves.
Right.
And it's unfortunate when people don't have good coaches, because I've seen coaches run people into the ground. I've seen a 2-3 year period where somebody is burnt, spent, and their bodybuilding career is over.
And those are some top end coaches that don't even require blood work. And it's like, what are we fucking doing here?
My coach won't send you nothing if you don't get blood work.
See, I agree with that. You know what I mean? And Nate even knows that too.
Some of the biggest names in this industry, we know.
Don't give a shit about blood work. They just will pump you all full of shit.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give the people a little synopsis on where you started bodybuilding and then where you are now, because I remember in 2016 you went on one of the coolest runs of amateur level bodybuilding I've ever seen. You won how many did you win in a row?
3 overalls in a row.
3 overalls, like.
And then I won the heavyweight class at Junior USA. Is narrowly missing the overall to Henry Jackson. He's a big boy, if you know who he is. Hen jacked. That was just crazy, because like literally before we actually, this is how me and Mike met. We go way back, and we met in the Natty organization. So we were both natural. This was like 2013, I want to say.
Yep.
And essentially, we competed at the main show together. And then after that, we pretty much, I think we both said the same thing. F this, we're getting huge. We hopped on the cross and we were off to the races, you know. And no, I responded crazy because I literally went from 180 at the main show, like pretty stripped out, like pretty shredded, as shredded as I could be, honestly. And went from 180 to a year and a half off. I did the 2016 Connecticut Powerhouse Classic at 215 with striated glutes.
Damn.
So that was that's like, you know, what is it?
35 pounds, 40 pounds.
Yeah. From almost from like a year and a half of cycling, like off and on, you know, and then I got with Andrew Barry for that. And then, we started that. So I didn't know how good I was. I was really just naive and just still very new to it. And like, this wasn't as big as it is now with the social media and like TikTok and all this crazy stuff. It was 2016. So Instagram just barely got started. So I didn't really have any idea how good I was, you know? So I did the Connecticut show just as a test run before what I originally wanted to do was a Vermont show. But because I was ready early, you know what I mean? Like pretty dialed in. So we did the Connecticut show, won the overall there in the heavyweight class. And then 2 weeks later, did the Vermont show, won the overall there in the heavyweight class. And then this is where I was like, oh, this is a big deal. Like, because I was back then, you guys know the Jay Cutler Classic was a really big deal as far as like a show. It was like this show, you know, the Cutler shows in the spring and the fall were usually pretty damn packed and like really good talent. And if you won that, you were sort of like, you know, pretty decent, you know. So I was honestly going into it, I was still hoping to place top 3 because like literally I knew how stacked it was, you know, so I didn't even expect to go to win. And then I won the heavyweight class and I won the overall there. So I was like, oh shit, like I honestly didn't know this, like, you know what I mean? I was just like, okay, which made it feel even cooler, you know what I mean? It was like so badass. I was like, well, because I never really like won anything in my life. I was never that guy that like got stuff or cool things happened to, you know what I mean? So it was pretty badass. But then so we were like, okay, well, let's try our talents at Junior USA's, which is 3 weeks after, you know, and because we were also like the old school kind of guys where we believed in, you know, the Kevin Lebroni you did the Junior USA's and the Junior Nationals, and then, you know, you went on to Nationals and USA's. So we're trying to live in that like homage still, but it was just about dying down, not quite yet, because Hunter Lebrot actually did the same thing the year after he did Junior USA's. But so there were still good guys doing it back then. Like Eric Wood was, you know, winning some of those Junior USA shows. So that year I won the heavyweight class, which was pretty dang good. I was pretty proud of that. But then, like I said, lost the overall. But then the year wasn't over. We decided to keep going and took a little break and did the fall show. We did New England's. This is the same year. And this was a crazy New England. This was when Derek Oslin did it with me. He went on to win his pro card and won a 212 show, I think, in the IFBB Pro League. But I beat him in the heavyweight class. He got second. I won the heavyweight class. And then Justin Randall was in the overall. Robbie Gould was in the overall. He was a mass monster. If you guys don't know who Robbie Gould was, but he's a monster. And then the kid that won it, Ryan Bergeron. And then Little John, if you guys know him, John McGovern. But there was like, so that one show has like 6 or 7 guys that turned pro, I think. Maybe like 6 or but it was stacked that year. But I lost the overall narrowly, and then I went crazy and I took my testosterone out without Andrew knowing because I talked to Steve and he wanted me drier. So I was an idiot and I was young, pulled the testosterone. I looked like trash, went on to nationals and I got smoked, got dead last, bro. Like last call outs. This was like a huge class too. So it was one of those things where I started learning my lesson too, as far as like, it's a nice message to pass on to younger people too, as far as people that want to do nationals. I always say, bro, think about this. You want to do nationals? I won 3 overalls, went to nationals and still got smoked. So just saying it's a different level when you go from a regional show to that national level, especially bodybuilding and supers and heavyweights and light heavyweights. Even middles are pretty nasty usually. So
yeah, because there's always 1 or 2 middleweights that show up, and you be like,
nationals, yeah.
Yeah, because when you're a middleweight and you don't look like a middleweight, and when you're a light heavy and you don't look like a light heavy,
right? That
shit be looking freaky to me. I'd be like, I be asking like, oh, you're a fucking middleweight? Like, geez,
right?
Man. Shit's impressive to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so I learned my lesson there and got my ass whooped at nationals. So people that want to go to nationals, just use that as sort of a lesson. But yeah, so then I went on to know, most of you guys know, but I pretty much like went on to the national chase of pro card hunting, like meaning like I was getting like third, and I got third and second, like I think 4 or 5 times. So, and a lot of you guys know I placed behind Nick Walker 1 year, Big Bad Bundy 1 year.
Carlos, right?
You know what? I do remember that. I remember Bundy. Damn.
Yeah, bro. Nasty, dude. That 1 year nationals too, he was crazy good that one time. This dude was so good. He called out one man. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
I remember that. They took him off stage.
Like, you're good, bro. You're good. He was like,
they was like, you won.
That's how good you are, bro.
Yeah.
And then it was between me and Brent Swanson between second and third, and he ended up taking second that year, which I beat him the year before. So, yeah, crazy.
And you got Carlos 1 year too, right?
Yeah, Carlos. Yeah. So that freak's about to go to Arnold and do some crazy stuff, huh?
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? You know what I'm saying? Like when you start naming names of people that have been doing this for some time, and everybody's journey is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, crazy, what made you, Nate, when you? Because I think you're a good person to explain it. What keeps you in it when you come so close every time? Because everybody just expects and everybody thinks, they see the success stories, right? But they don't get to hear the stories of people like yourself who like what kept you in it when you just were so close?
Right. No, that's a great question, because that was a question I definitely really faced hard when I was getting ready for North Americans, and I knew Nick Walker was doing it, because honestly, deep down, I'm not a fucking moron. I knew Nick was going to beat me. So like, how do you prepare for that? Like, see, Carlos, I could have talked myself into it. Okay, I can get really shredded, might be able to beat him on condition, but Nick, it was no way. He had all the boxes were checked. You know what I mean? And so that one was really just, just like pretty much go for as disgustingly peeled as I could get and try to sort of play that game. But yeah, at that point, it's just really for the love of it, honestly. It's just the passion of just wanting to be better and wanting to prove people wrong too. You know what I mean? And there was also definitely a force where people were like, I hated when people would be like, because you do that, like, oh, in the comment section, oh, everyone else might as well stay home or whatever, like shit like that. And that would piss me off so much, but I would do more cardio because of that shit. You know what I mean? And just be pissed, try to get just extra shredded and just, it was just motivation. It's honestly for me, it's almost like a sport or doing an athletic event. You know what I mean? That's how I try to look at bodybuilding sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm like an athlete, you know what I mean? So when I'm doing my cardio, I try to look at okay, I'm doing an athlete, I'm checking in. This is what I do for my, my sport.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool for people to really understand that in the sport of bodybuilding, you typically will lose more than you win until you become that creme de la creme elite bodybuilder. You know what I mean? And I always love when I, hearing about they were talking about Akeem, when he first turned pro. I was watching something about him, Hollingshead, so many guys you gotta go through that struggle. And as an amateur and even as a pro, and you do have a lot of people out here that are just so negative sometimes when it comes to bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding fans.
You think you're ever gonna win? You know what I mean? And it's I for me, just like you, I do it for the love of the sport. And when I got into bodybuilding, I never cared if anybody came to watch me. Nobody. I'm gonna get on stage if my wife come, if my wife don't come, I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's cool for people to hear some of these stories, because a lot of younger people, especially, they just I hear it all the time. I'm gonna turn pro, and I'm like, I want you to. I don't never try to be negative, but a lot of people don't understand how difficult it really is.
Right. Most people they're always gonna hear about the struggle. You're always gonna hear about the person that had the success story, like you said. You don't really hear about the guy struggling. So these athletes, the ones that are chasing the pro card, aren't hearing about these guys like myself that it took them 10, maybe sometimes 15 years to get that pro card. You know what I mean? Because you don't hear about those stories, but there are those stories. I know the guys, you know what I mean? And yeah, like you're saying, like those sometimes are the ones that are going to be more motivating, if anything, because like I was going to say someone like James Hongs had motivated the heck out of me because he's had a slow churn. You know what I'm saying? Like he's slowly done the climb, and it's been very impressive because he's been at it for a long time. Like I remember even to turn his pro card, it took him a while. Then once he turned pro, it took him a pretty long time to get win a pro show. Whereas like nowadays, people expect you to win the pro debut. If you don't, you're trash.
That's very true. That's very true.
Facts. That shit is crazy to me. It's
wild,
like everybody
right?
don't win their pro debut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that shit's. You know what Seth told me? Seth, I was fortunate to win mine, but at the same time, I remember him calling me down to the office and saying, you know, some people go a lifetime and never win a pro show. Like basically telling me don't take this shit for granted.
Right.
And I respected that. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel no type of way. I took it like that's some real shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like some people they just don't realize. Like you said, I wasn't one of them people that I never won anything in the individual sport.
Right.
So winning my first bodybuilding competition, I always say is up there with the birth of my kids, my marriage, and then bodybuilding. Like them is the three best feelings I've ever had in my life.
You got to live in that moment is what you're saying pretty much. You know, you got to soak it in and appreciate it, you know, for what it is. Because it is real shit, man. We are like humans. We only get one life, and that's like a big achievement. You know what I mean? And something that you know, like you can be proud of. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to be like, oh, tough, and like, oh, we don't, oh, whatever. We just go on about our business, and we're on to the next one, like, because we have to like have that ego a little bit. But hey, you can chill out a little bit and you know appreciate the moment. And that's another thing too, as far as bodybuilding goes, is like for some of the younger people, they just got to know how to like have a mental like stabilize their mentality as far as bodybuilding goes, because a lot of it is a chess game within your mind as far as bodybuilding goes, and that's where a lot of people get burnt out and go wrong is, you know, they overthink, they want to be there tomorrow, so then they have all this pressure on them, you know, and creating anxiety, and it's like, oh, I gotta be like pro tomorrow and I'm not doing it, so I'm like a disappointment. And it's like, you know, get what I'm saying? Like, so it's not a positive
they
thing.
just they need to understand that the whole process just takes time.
Yes,
It's just consistency and discipline over time. It's like the magic formula there.
And you got to just do it at your own pace and think like you can't really have expectations. Just say, hey, I just got to build the best physique I can in this time frame and handle what I can handle. And like we can't, you know, have the judges, you know, like, you know, it is what it is, like whether you have the physique or not, you know. So you just have to work at it and not like overthink about it. You know, a lot of people are thinking about, you know, like I said, they're just overthinking it. They get way too in their heads. Like, especially you guys know, like coaching people, like some of these dudes, they get in their heads so hard, and it's like you got to like chill out a little bit, you know. And that's the thing too, is like some of the OCD bodybuilders, they just need to like sort of relax a little bit and be able to like sort of breathe and give themselves a break every now and then, you know, because we're not, a lot of us too, we have this expectation if we have to be 100%, if we're 90%, then we're mad at ourselves, you know what I mean? And we're like, you know, it's like, relax, you know. So for bodybuilders, definitely,
for sure. I feel, there was a kid that came up to me at the gym the other day. This is kind of relating to the subject. And I think we live in a time of so much information is detrimental. Like, dude, bodybuilding's it's hard to do, but it's relatively easy to understand.
Right. Oh, and overcomplicated, right?
This smaller kid, I see him work out. He doesn't have a bad work ethic, but he asked me some questions about, you know, he wants to do his second show, I guess. His first one he kind of bombed out on. He wasn't in shape. So he's telling me his plans over the next year and a half. And he's talking about, okay, so for the next 3 months, I'm going to bulk, and then I plan on doing a cut to like 10% fat, and my mesocycle's currently this. And you know, I had to say, man,
Chris. Chris is dying.
Like, hey, what you're saying to me right now, some of these terms I'm not even sure what you're saying. But I'm gonna tell you, like, don't overthink this, man. Like,
that's not
trained hard as hell. You're 20 years old. Like,
it's not needed.
It's not needed, man. Like, eat as much as you can, clean, and train as hard as you can, and just enjoy that for a year. Like,
eat big, train big. Like, you know, it's like
when I first started, yes, I followed loosely some things that bodybuilding.com had posted. You know, they're like 12-week bulk diet or 12-week cut. But like, you And I didn't know what I was doing in the gym. I just went in there with my boys and we moved as much weight till we were completely exhausted.
Yeah.
And then went to sleep and did it again.
Yeah.
And it
It
worked.
worked, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, some of the best parts when I was younger, I just trained like a fucking maniac, honestly. Like,
Same.
and just went balls to the wall, you know what I mean? And just like ate a lot of food and like grew like a mother effer, you know what I mean? Like,
Man,
think
I talked
some of
about
guys-
this on my story earlier today, just how oversaturated everything is. And of course, we know there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, but if the wheel ain't broke, you ain't got to fix it.
Right.
And everybody, there's too many Indians, not enough chiefs. Everybody has the best way to do this. And it's just like I get annoyed. Like the internet is really annoying me. And especially when it's a 160-pound kid trying to show me how to gain muscle. Like
God, that annoys me to
you
no
can't
end.
teach me how to put on muscle. You haven't done it.
Oh my god.
They just leave like a study link like
It's
in your
obnoxious.
DMs. It's like, here, this is why you're not growing. It's like, oh, okay. I think that's even worse now. That is honestly even worse now than the guy that was like, oh, when I was your age, I was 3 times your size. It wasn't for my bad knee. I used to squat 1,000 pounds and then eat 10 pounds of steak afterwards. Like, yeah, okay.
I used to look like you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, you didn't.
Right.
But you gotta level the same too. If I was as much gear as he was, I'd be the same size.
Oh
Just,
yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
That's the one. That's the one that gets me because that just shows me the ignorance, right? Because people steal and
No idea.
to still be ignorant about this in 2025, when you
Right.
can Google shit, you can ask chat AI. The fact that people still don't understand, it's the food. Yes, the PEDs, the anabolics help you grow faster. But if you're not eating,
you're not.
I always say, you know how many people run gear? You never know. You would never fucking
Right.
know.
Yep.
At
Most
all.
things, yeah.
Mike, this was exactly my story the other day.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
Because you have somebody, he just hit me up and he's like, I haven't been in the gym in like 3 months. My back has like been bad. I'm getting a cortisol shot. And I'm thinking about jumping on a cycle. And I'm like, what? I'm like, for what? Why? What reason? You haven't even been in the gym in 3 months. I'm like,
Right.
why don't you start by eating, hit your diet for 100% for 2 months, get back into the gym, get into a good rhythm, and then maybe 2 or 3 months down the road, when you're 100% consistent on those two, then maybe you can think about doing it. You're
It
going
already
to
sounds
ask
like it could fail.
drugs is not like you shouldn't be going down that road right now.
Or like the guys that'll pull you aside. You're like, I'm hopping on some Anavar.
Yeah.
And they just like say to you, like, cool, buddy.
And I got it for $25 too.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Dude,
It
people
is
are
so
honestly, it's crazy. Like, honestly, no lie. I was at Planet Fitness one time in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and I'm just posing.
sorry.
I was like, so many weeks out. Yeah, I know. Oh, horrible place, right? Shithole. But I'm posing in the Planet Fitness, just doing my morning cardio, and this guy comes up to me, randomly just comes up to me, and obviously starts talking to me about, hey, oh man, you look great, blah, blah, blah. Talks to me about trying to do bodybuilding, this and that. You know how it is. Like, all these guys, they're going to come up to us. Starts telling me about his cycle. You know what I mean? Just telling me he's taking Tren, Anadrol, like high amount of tests. And dude looks like nothing. Hasn't even competed. I'm like, are you serious right now, bro? Like, and it's like, dude, and it's crazy. Like, these people just come up to you and start telling you like their whole cycles. Like, I'm like, bro, I didn't even say one word to this guy. You know what I mean? They just want
like, what makes you think that I want to know what the fuck you doing?
right. I'd rather not, honestly.
If you're on that much gear and you look the way you do, you should probably quit bodybuilding.
Right. It was horrible.
Just stop it.
Just stop.
But it's crazy how many of these people engage us, like, you know what I mean? Like big jack dudes, they'll just come up to us and they'll just like tell us this information, or they'll want, or they'll ask us, right? That's so annoying. When I hate that. I haven't gotten in a while, but like, oh bro, like what are you running? And it's like, bro,
yeah, I hate that.
Like, this is like, you know what I mean? Like, let's not talk about this in open. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know you like that. Like, what are you doing? Like,
well, it's the same question. It's the same question if you go up to a random person, you're like, what do you make for salary for the year?
Right,
Or
right.
like,
Very
how's
private.
you and your wife's sex life?
Yeah,
Like,
Yes,
Does
exactly.
your wife do anal?
Personal
No.
question. Yes. And like I said too, you got to be careful telling people shit because somebody will try to do what you say you doing. And you're 150 pounds. I'm 230, bro.
Right.
You can't do what I'm doing.
I think it's gonna they're gonna look just like us because they take that shit honestly, which is sad, like that they think like that. But it's like, dude, that's not how it works anywhere close.
No.
But what about the opposite though? That
That's their mentality.
Oh, exactly.
That's their mentality. Their mentality is that I can get big just on juice.
Yeah,
right.
They don't want to put the work in. That's the fucking problem.
No.
Or you got the opposite people that ask you guys what you're on and they don't believe you.
Oh yeah, 100% all the time. That's what I was saying earlier. Is like I was saying like, you know, just I'm only on 200 mg of testosterone, but like most people probably wouldn't believe that, you know what I mean? But I'm also, dude, people got to remember, dude, I've been training for 12, 13 years every day, bodybuilding training, like not missing a beat, eating like 12, like, you know, I've been doing the business for 12 freaking years, you know what I mean? Like day in and day out, that density muscle, like that ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? At this point, like my muscle is like most of you guys have been training just as long. You know what I mean? You have the same thing, like where like even if you like take some time, like I don't know, I also have like good genetics too as far as like retaining muscle. So like even if I take some time off, like I notice like I hold on to muscle very well still. So it's like also like the maturity, like I was saying, like you do this, that's what your reward for doing this for so long. You know what I mean? Is you and we can get away a little bit more on diet. Like I could eat some crappy food and I wouldn't even touch me. You know what I mean? But it's like as we were talking about earlier, that muscle mass, you know what I mean? And like just it's now we can get away a little bit more, you know.
Man, I tell people all the time, I probably have been lifting weights longer than you've been in your relationship, with all due respect.
Or live.
And most people don't understand that. It's like we don't go into the gym for a month or two to take a year off. We are in the gym day in, day out, week in, week out, year after year, and our goal is to try to train the same every fucking time. That's why I always tell people, like, bro, you dudes like, yo, man, can I come train with you? Absolutely not. You would slow me the fuck down. You cannot.
Let's just train.
I don't work out. This lifestyle that we live is not for shits and giggles. It's either a part of what you do or you're someone who talks about doing it. You do it halfway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're always wondering how people who make it look easy is because they do the little things every day that they need to do to stay consistent.
I got a good question for you guys. When's the last time you can remember you had an easy leg day? You know what I mean? Like, puts into perspective for normal people. Our fucking easiest leg day, which we can't even remember because every leg day we fucking make it count no matter what, and we train our fucking balls off because that's how you grow your legs. But that's just like we've done that repeatedly over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? Like normal people can't comprehend that, bro. Like what we do is like, and then we go into work, we do our jobs, we do our business. You know what I mean? Whatever we got to do, like it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like we just do it. You know.
My easiest leg day, I think the last one I had was back when I think I was 23 or 24 years old. And I went and got blood work done. And then my dumb ass immediately went to go train legs. And I was squatting like 405 for as many reps as I could. And I blacked out at 17 and collapsed into the rack.
Dude, I was gonna say.
I cut my workout short. So I did one exercise. That was my easiest leg day.
That's crazy.
Chris, you actually made a really interesting post. I like it for two reasons. One, it's incredibly informative. Two, you're talking about role-playing games, which were like my favorite growing up. And this falls right in hand with what we've been talking about. Excuse me. Because you basically break down what bodybuilding is by the phases of bodybuilding, but compared to role-playing games. Do you want to expand on that at all? Where that idea came from and like what mindset were you in when you wrote that?
So I had smoked quite a few blunts at night, and it was actually the last podcast where Ken Kennedy was recommended Solo Leveling as a new anime to watch. So I binge watched every single episode over the weekend, like both seasons, like everything that came out. It's incredible. And I was just thinking about that. I'm like, this is really kind of like bodybuilding. It's like, because I'm like, I hate the damn health phase that I'm in right now.
Well,
It's like like the one you're just kind of chilling back and you're not really, So I'm like, how can I make this fun? And then I was like, you know what? This makes sense. I'm treat myself as a character in RPG. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna think more about this. And then I just woke up this morning. I was like, I'm gonna type this all out. That was really where the idea came from. That's my autism going at full blast.
I love it.
No, it was good. I really enjoyed that post. So if people haven't seen it, go on Chris's page and check it out because it's really good.
So, what's up with Brennan? You put on 20 pounds of muscle or what?
That's Blue actually just texted me as we were talking right now. So
yeah. So what's the game plan for you? You just starting at what?
We actually just started Saturday. So
nice.
We got a good push
Where's
going.
Where's food at right now? Training days.
He hasn't touched. He wants to he implemented all the gear first, and then he's gonna start pushing after. He kind of just wants to see what's gonna happen with just what we implemented.
What is it like?
That's a good approach because then you can kind of see what's not.
Oh yeah, I'm probably at probably in that 500 to 600 range for carbs, but he's gonna jack that through the fucking roof. I know.
Yeah. I know he feeds his guys a lot.
Yeah, he will, and I mean just like I've said to everyone here, he implemented insulins, and I've never even taken it before. And
that'll be good.
Fuck, man, I'll tell you right now.
I'm a big fan of insulin, honestly.
The pump. I texted Mike on fucking Tuesday night, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this pump is fucking crazy."
It's a different ball game, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. You just feel full, you feel full for hours, just
full as a fucking house.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, not knowing and not being in that game, yet, up until Tuesday night,
right?
You always worry about the safe side of it, hypo. Right. You're gonna go fucking hypo, so I mean, I got the tablets in my bag and everything like that. So
you'll be
long
fine.
As you eat, that shit'll make you fucking eat.
Oh yeah. If you can,
just as long as you eat, just don't not fucking eat.
I mean, honestly, the goal right now, starting at 250, I want to be me and Blue think we can be 275 by the end of April. Easy.
How tall are you?
5'11".
Okay.
We got to get this kid to 300 though, honestly.
Yeah, for real.
Blow him out.
Brendan's a 300-pound frame. You're a 300-pound frame.
He does.
I'm game for it.
He's still young in the sport though. You can still grow plenty.
If 300 rolls there by the end of the year, I'm fucking cool with that. Bring it on.
Hell yeah.
You're ready to just wear a bunch of slides everywhere.
Yep.
You're not going to want to bend over.
No stop.
I'm like, shit. 250, I can't even put on my socks. 300, I'm just gonna buy a fucking something to pull my socks up or something.
Did you guys have any specific off season you can remember where you were your heaviest and it felt the worst?
Right now.
Before the Olympia for me, I was up to 230. I was 236. I was eating everything because I here going to the fucking Olympia. I just posted a picture of my Olympia off season and just this recent off season. My midsections got out of whack, I was eating like crazy just because of the fear of, you know what I'm saying? I just felt like I had to look as good as I could look. So my off season,
that was like peaking though. You're saying peaking?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You got up to 296, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, last year I did. I got up to 296, and that was honestly though, I would say probably when I hit 280, I can remember specifically. That's what I meant, like a specific weight or year, because I can remember 280 and 260. The first time I hit those were fucking horrible. Like 260, which is so funny because I'm like 265 right now and like super lean, But I can remember when I first hit 260, that was super painful, like lower back pumps, like body just so tight. Like just hating my life, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God, this is miserable. But I was like fighting to that, bro, you know what I mean? You got to do that. You got to get uncomfortable. Like that's the thing is you're uncomfortable, 90% of your bodybuilding, right? Like there's a short window where you're actually comfortable for the most part. Mm-hmm. So growing that phase, that 260 was a mother effort. That was probably the worst. And then then I was like, yeah, 280 when I hit that one year. That was another year where it was just like the lower back tightness and you're just fatigued all day, like the you say lethargy. That was just like horrible, like through the roof, just so hard to do everything, and like you said, bend over and put your shoes on and like socks and drying off your feet and like stuff like that. Like even cutting your toenails, I would just get pedicures all the time just because I wouldn't even like want to cut my toenails, you know. So I would go once a month and just spend $40 and just get my fucking pedicure once a month, whatever. I just, you know, like for convenience, really.
The one for me, it's right now. So this is the first time.
Oh, you're really pushing right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in that like 280 range right now. I've been waking up at 280 a couple mornings, and I actually texted Luke the other day, and I was like, "Bro, does getting this big feel like dying to you?" Like, dude, I put my CPAP on at night. In the first 5 minutes with the CPAP on, I'm hyperventilating because I'm breathing so heavy. I'm like,
so hard to keep up with. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And
That
just
sucks.
walking around. You don't think about these things till you get there. Like, you know, everybody says being big sucks, but like you don't really realize like the things that suck until you get there. And then you're like, holy shit, this is really difficult.
Right.
Mike, when we were together, we figured it out. You put on like 40 pounds in like 4 weeks, dude.
I went from like before I started the push, I was like in the just like about 250.
Damn.
And so like
crazy.
Like 30 pounds over like like a 6-week period.
That's crazy. Well, when do you start pulling down for your prep? Because are you doing Pampelis or first?
Yeah. So I have about 2 more weeks of push here, and then I'll go into a health phase and get bloods done, make sure everything's on track. And if it's on track, then start prep at the beginning of April for Texas.
Word. Nice.
Yep.
That's sick.
Hey, what are you doing? I don't know if they asked you, but what are you doing?
I'm actually probably going to sit out this next year and just try to keep improving. And I'm probably going to try to hit Detroit and Pittsburgh, New York in 26.
I like that.
Them will be some good shows, especially after this year. I think it's gonna be one of them shows, and Detroit's coming.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I like that they added the Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Because it gives competitors another show in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't realize too, in the bodybuilding world, man, you got to travel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and the more shows we can have, the better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to travel and want to travel, but you know, having stuff like that is dope. I'm planning on going to the Detroit this year to go check out Carlos. I'm definitely gonna see him at the Arnold.
Did they strip Vancouver?
Yeah, they got rid of Vancouver for open bodybuilding men's.
They did.
Officially,
that sucks. Yeah.
That was like one of the shows that I hope to do at some point.
That's a fun ass show, honestly, because it's like Vancouver's actually a beautiful area out there.
It is.
It's sick. Yeah.
I loved it. I did the Van City Pro. I loved it.
Yeah.
And that's not a place where I would ever think to fucking
go. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're saying I think the reason why they cut it was the sanction fees, though, from what I heard.
Probably Open's a lot more expensive than the other
divisions. It was a whole load of money for the Open to get sanctioned.
Yeah, Open's a big deal if you want to put it on. It's like $25,000. I think you got to pay for a sanction fee, whereas like bikini and stuff is like $5K or 10 or something. So yeah, and then you got the prize money is more expensive too. So, but usually sponsors, I mean, you can get hopefully to put that up, but I don't know stuff. Yeah, but no, I just want to try to make more improvements, Luke, and just try to keep filling out my frame a little bit more, but like more so like specific areas, and just try to keep like building out like a more improved look, not necessarily like massive, like, but like more just like better back quality,
development,
like sweep, and
I feel like that's a good move for you because you compete a lot. I feel like the time you need to just stay in an improvement kind of phase is going to help you next year for sure.
And like so, the last time I took a year off, I made huge improvements. And it was like definitely a very good move. And like you said, I haven't every year since then. I've done 2 or 3 shows every year since 2017.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been I compete a lot for sure. I love competing, so it's definitely not easy for me. It's more just like I think what's best for me, essentially.
I always say I feel like extended off seasons are probably the hardest thing to do in bodybuilding.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because it's, bro, you hit a point, like, I mean, I'm not doing an extent. I'm gonna start prep probably in like May this year, but like I'm at that point already in off season where I'm fucking done, bro.
Itching, right? Yeah.
And just to think like I would have to do this shit for another year, like hell, because I took 23 off, and you hit a point like halfway through where you don't want nothing to do with it, but you just got to keep
dude. Yeah, we were just right before we got on this call. I was just talking about like being lethargic and like the off season and shit. And I'm sure you're feeling like right now that like,
bro, Brendan
was falling asleep.
Bro, Brendan was the only one that caught me on the last podcast. He fucking texted me. I was eating on the last podcast and I finished the meal and I started dozing off.
Yeah,
none of y'all caught me, so I thought I was good.
I'm like, this kid's fucking drinking a grape energy drink, and he's like this. No joke, he's like this.
Yeah, bro, I can't help it, yo.
I definitely missed that
every time, bro. I was far enough back from the camera that I was like, yeah, they can't catch me.
You know, I don't need to say anymore, huh, Brennan?
What's that?
Say no more, huh, Brennan?
Yeah.
That's great.
It's gonna happen real fucking quick.
So
it's so bad, bro. You can't get anything done. Like you feel just like a fucking slob, like 24/7.
It's gonna take me 10 minutes to do one delivery with my fucking
Yeah, those numbers are going down, dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All productivity, bro, in the gutter, bro.
My spore is gonna go straight down the dump. My boss is gonna be like, "What the fuck happened? What do you mean? I'm fucking 30 pounds heavier. What do you want from me?"
Do any of you guys get anxiety between meals? Like I've been getting severe anxiety. Like, I only have 30 more minutes of like free time.
Exactly. Oh,
like,
it sucks. I hate it. You just know you don't want to like, and you know you're not gonna be hungry, and you're like worried about like and like pushing it back further, and just like it becomes like a mental like you're just like
eating is a job.
Oh yeah.
When people say stupid shit like, "Dude, man, I'm trying to get bigger," and then I ask them how much they eat, and I'd be like, "You got to eat more."
It's isn't it such a relief and a reward every time you finish a meal though? At this point,
oh my god,
you're like, oh my god, yes, okay, one step, like such a big deal, like
then you got to do it again 90 minutes later, bro.
Yeah. Oh my god,
my food's fairly low still, so I'm not like that. I'm still like on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm still about an 8 with hunger.
Yeah,
that's the fucked up thing, bro. I have a huge appetite. Like me and Blake are good friends. Blake's been around me when I'm eating. Like I can eat. But when you're eating 7,500 calories a day for 6 months, you want to shoot yourself in the fucking face.
No, I know. Like when my food got to its max that it was last year, it was getting to the point where I'd like look at the clock. I don't get anxiety. I'm just like,
I dread it. I just feel like fuck this.
I'm just like,
But like if I diet for 2 weeks, I'm hungry as shit. It's fucked up. I'm never happy, bro. I'm just never happy.
Dude, you're going from 7,500 calories to in a deficit. I'm gonna fucking see this shit.
No. But that's the good thing about this is the highest my food's been for like a long, consistent period of time. So usually I got to dig pretty hard to get in shape. I think I should have an easier time this year, at least food wise.
Yeah, you look good. You still got lines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
have you really been on that many calories for 6 months? 7,500?
Yeah, I mean, I've been on 7,500 since beginning of September, so maybe not 6 months. Close to it.
That's crazy. Fuck, bro.
A lot of food.
Yeah, it sucks. And for the first like 2 months, I was loving it.
Yeah.
That shit is great. And then by the time like Halloween hit, I was like, I'm done, bro.
Yeah. It catches up with you no matter what, really.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Did you have any pullbacks at all, Luke? Like any days of pullback?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm just not the type. Man, I probably could benefit from it as far as like resetting my appetite a little bit, but I'm just not the type of guy to be like, yo, I'm full. Can we fix this? Yeah. I just eat. I just get it done. So
that's awesome.
Tells you what to eat, you do it. You shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I said that today too, man. Like some people be like, you ever have those clients that just want it changed because they want it changed, and it's Like, yo,
Yeah.
like we're in a sweet spot. You're actually doing really good. Like, we don't need to change nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
kinda-
But
kinda
they're just
where
like,
I'm at.
it's like, yo, like you know what every fucking thing tastes like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
let's stop acting like we don't know what pizza tastes like, or you want to switch some shit. Like, no, we're not doing that.
So obnoxious.
Yeah, that's
like
kind of
people
where
who- it's exactly
I've
like
never been
people who
like
want
that.
their
I've
shit
never.
changed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
like-
never texted my coach to ask him to change nothing.
Oh,
Nah,
no, right?
I've never asked. I'll put him on a line. I've never asked for a free meal. I've never asked for nothing.
bro, even like right now, right? Like my biggest issue, I've talked to Mike about this too. My biggest issue with this happens to me every offseason when food gets hot is my sleep. Because I stay up so late forcing food down, I get no sleep. And then when I do sleep, my fucking lights again. When I do sleep, it's dog shit, sleep apnea sleep, right?
Yeah.
So I'll have people be like, oh, well, this probably not that good for you. You should probably eat less and get more sleep. And you should just talk to your coach about it. I'm like, I'm never going to go to Blue and be like, listen, bro, like, I would never.
I swear to God, I've never done that shit either.
He don't need to. He can just take naps on podcasts.
Dude, and
Once a week though.
dude, and you're literally growing like your biggest ever, and you're having a crazy response. So why would you not put up with it? You know what I mean? It's like you're getting rewarded.
Exactly, and it's just like, look, I take it on myself. Like, sure, yeah, it would be better to get more sleep, but like, it's my responsibility to find a way to get the food in and get my sleep in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it would just be like a soft way out to be like, can we lower food so I can sleep more? Like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I had a client the other day that asked me, like, he didn't. Well, we've gone back and forth. First off, it's been too much food for him, so we had to dial it back. But now it's just not enough time in the day to get all of his meals in, so he'd like to condense them and possibly switch out another whole food meal for oatmeal and protein. And so, like, I always give this speech to clients because I really don't have a lot of patience for that type of shit. You either do it or you don't. If you can't do it, then bodybuilding is not for you. But like, I remember when I worked construction, like I would fucking eat meals in a porta potty in 10 minutes, like on the job, like because
and
that's
cold.
just
Cold. I
cold
forgot my fork finger fucking to mouth.
You gotta eat your meal. You gotta eat your meal.
Like, if you're gonna do this, then you just got to do it. Like, I can't hold your hand. I can't switch your day around for you. You can't eat the calories. We just can't step on stage ever. That's what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, some people just gotta accept that, bro. Like, I say this all the time. There's nothing wrong with just being a fucking dude that likes to work out and be jacked. But like, there's a difference between being that and being a bodybuilder.
Right.
And like, even if it just is like, you know, some people I respect and they got too much going on in their lives and they simply just don't have the time. Like, that is a fact too. But like, regardless of what the situation is, if you can't do it, you can't do it. Like, there's no way around the hard shit.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, if
That's
someone
what I'm
wants,
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like I'm thinking I'm better than you or something. It's just like, look, you don't have to be a fucking bodybuilder. Just go be jacked. But like, if you want to get on stage and compete at a high level, these are non-negotiables. Like, these are things that have to get done. I don't care what your schedule's like. I don't care what personal shit you got going on. You know what I mean? Like when I lost my house, I kind of told this story like briefly. In 2022, before I did the New York State, I lost my house 3 weeks out, and I was like homeless. I had nothing. They took everything. That day, bro, I went and I trained. All I had was flip-flops. I trained in flip-flops. I went to the grocery store. I got everything. I didn't miss a single meal. I didn't miss cardio. I didn't miss a session. I like fucking even like, I don't even know if I want to say this on here, but I was like, I need help, bro.
Run it back.
Cuts out on the
I was wondering if y'all caught that.
What the fuck, man?
Nah, none of us got that shit.
Oh man.
Now he's like gone, like fuck, like the wind.
Talking about paying his electric bill, and look what happened.
Yo, I can't believe that shit just happened.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, because he literally was about to say something and it cut off.
God damn, dude.
Yo.
And he's gone.
Oh,
No,
man.
but
He's not a
he
power- wait,
said,
It was like he was going to say something that the feds were listening, and right before he said that, he snagged him.
Yeah.
He just grabbed his ass.
yeah, no, it's like Nate, you even said it too. Like sometimes, man, you just gotta do what the fuck you gotta do. And I don't think people realize that. You know, the year I turned pro, I was going for a promotion at my job. I was working first shift, second shift, third shift, whatever they told me I had to do. So there was times where I'm staying up overnight eating my food. Now that was when I would bug my coach and be like, all right, help me figure this out because I got to work an overnight shift. Then in a couple days, I got to work a second shift. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But there was never a time where, like, I don't think I can do this. You know what I'm saying? There was never a time where I felt like, there we go, he's back. But at the same time, it's like there never came a time, even I had to get up at 3:30 to be on the treadmill at 4 a.m. There was never a time where I said I couldn't do this.
Non-negotiable.
I always figured it out. However, I had to, and I tell people this, like, that's what I love about bodybuilding, because it's not even just about bodybuilding. That's how life is. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Luke was talking about. Like, sometimes life happens and you got to figure that shit out. However, you got to figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? But Luke, you broke up. We need to hear what the fuck you were saying.
Wait, where was I at when they cut me out?
You said
Like,
I
where's
probably
the
shouldn't be
beginning?
saying this on here, and then that's what it cut out.
That's crazy. I said I hit up every motherfucker I know in the state of Connecticut with gear. I drove all around Connecticut picking my shit up. Like everything I lost that morning.
You figured it out.
By like 2 p.m. that day, I had it back. And I didn't get to the gym that night until midnight, but I trained in flip-flops at midnight. You know what I mean? And like, that wasn't because, I'm not trying to say that like to act like a hard ass or nothing. I'm just saying because like in my head, it was like, I don't have a choice. There's no option. Right? I'm 3 weeks out. Like I got this far. Like, I don't care that I don't even have a toothbrush tonight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna find a way to train and get my shit in. So what the fuck, bro? My car is tweaking. But yeah, that's the reason I bring that up, is because so many people, for obvious reasons, and this pissed me off actually. Like a couple weeks later, I saw a kid getting ready for a show. 2 weeks out, he got in a fender bender. No lie, like he wasn't even hurt. His car wasn't totaled, nothing.
Pulls out.
But he pulled out of the show because he said he didn't have a ride. I'm like, bro, it's a fucking fender bender, dude. Like, like a week before that, I was literally home.
Hitchhike, you motherfucker.
And I competed. So I was like, that's the type of shit I'm talking about, where I'm like, okay, that kid, he's just not cut out for it. Like, he's looking for an excuse. He's looking for
Does
an
he
excuse.
not have car rental insurance, like on his insurance plan?
Dude,
Like,
it
what
was
the
the
hell are you
weakest.
doing?
It was the weakest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, you know how bad I would want? It'd be the opposite. You would like, I would want to be at the show so bad that I would find anyway. You know what I mean? Like,
that
like
was
like I would be like, what? Like making any way possible to like get there,
bro.
That's the problem. Like the guys that are sitting on this podcast right now would never make up an excuse to pull out of a show. Everyone else,
yeah,
you know, they're just not cut out for it. It is what it
That's
is.
what makes bodybuilding extreme. We will do. I always used to say, I'm gonna do what you don't want to do, and I'm gonna get to where I want to go. Like that's one of my favorite sayings. And we're all a testament to that. Like at some point in our bodybuilding journey. Oh, and then not to mention too, I thought I was gonna get a divorce. Like literally, when the year I was getting my pro card. Top of that, me and my wife was going through a lot at that time. You know what I mean? So. And I remember my coach asking me too. I made sure I get that blood work, and he said, "How's your head mentally? You know what I mean? Like, how are you? Like, because if you can't go through, we're not going through with it." But in my mind at that time, bodybuilding, I felt like was the only thing keeping me alive. You know what I'm saying? Literally, that was the only release I had. And I ended up getting my pro card and keeping my marriage. So it was a win-win. You know what I'm saying? But there was never a time, ever a time where I felt quitting. Like never. And when I start something, I'm anal about finishing it. I don't give a fuck. I gotta see it out.
Well, that's the thing. I've said this on here before. Like that, the confidence that I have in myself isn't based on the way that I look or nothing like that. It's based on my ability to like do shit that most people won't. You know what I mean? And just to be consistent and just to work. And like, that's the confidence when I show up at a show and I'm backstage, like the ability, like the reason I'm able to get up there and do what I do is just because I know that like, no matter what, like I did everything I could and then some, you know what I'm saying? And so many people, I'm sure they get back there and they probably snuck in a snack here or there, skipped 5 minutes of cardio or did this. And that's probably why they get anxious and this, that, and the third. But I don't know, like that's why I'm able to do what I do, is just because I know that, you know, no matter what's going on, like I'm going to find a way to get shit done. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Wow.
So what's your plans, Luke, actually, by the way?
My plans?
Yeah.
So I was going to do North Americans, but I'm thinking I'm leaning more towards amateur Olympian just to give me a little bit more time.
Oh, nice.
So like I'm only like 10 weeks into this off season officially, as far as my like cycle goes.
Yeah.
So I can still push this for another like 6 to 8, then clean out before prep. Amateur Olympic gives me enough time to do all that, and because it's like mid-October, beginning of October, so I'm probably leaning towards that, but we'll see.
So yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
That's how many is that, top 3 in the overall or something for a card?
Yeah, I think it's top 3 overall. North American's top 4.
Yeah.
I think
so at the amateur you don't get your pro card by winning your class.
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
See, some people don't be knowing that either. I was one of those people. I remember when I won the light heavy, Gary saw me. He's like, "What you smiling for? You ain't win your pro card yet." And I'm like, I was confused. I'm like,
right.
With the other shows, you win your class, you win your pro card. He said, "You got to place top 4 in the overall." He said, "You better get ready to close your ass off." I was like, "Oh shit!"
If I win supers and I'm not top 3 in the overall, I'd probably be pretty pissed at like a light.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty good super. Yeah.
So true story. When I won the Open, we're walking to the stage, right? And Marty, you know Marty, he's an asshole. He don't give a fuck. We're walking to the stage. Marty's like, "Oh, I'm getting my pro card today. Ain't no fucking way I'm losing to a middleweight." That's what I'm saying. You're a nut, dog. He didn't give a fuck, but he was being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm getting my pro card. I was
that's how I'm feeling. Ain't no way some fucking middleweight gonna beat me. I'm fucking done, bro.
Right.
I'm for real done.
Right. That's rough.
Yeah, but that's what it is, man.
One of the questions that we had, it was kind of correlates with what me and Luke were talking about a couple of days ago. I guess it's kind of on not as a happy note, but do you guys ever reflect on, like, as we get bigger, as we do this, as we continue, like the mortality of all this? Does it ever hit you like let's be honest, bodybuilding isn't healthy at the end of the day? Do you ever have points where you just reflect to yourself, like, fuck, like, I know I'm doing this the best way that I can, but like, who knows? Like,
bro, that's the thing.
Have a freak stroke? Am I gonna, like,
daily basis?
Your mind?
I'm almost on a daily basis, honestly. But like, I'm somebody that, because I had to accept this. I'm like a total control freak with things, and I try, and I'm a pussy with a lot of stuff. Honestly, I'm not reckless, but like, it comes to a point where like you can't do this healthy, bro. Especially in an open level, like you just can't. Like, even like Mike, when we were talking the other night, like I'm almost 300 fucking pounds, bro. In no world, regardless of gear, nothing, is it healthy to be a 300-pound man. Like, no world is that healthy. So like, when I'm fucking sitting here fucking choking on myself in my sleep, and people are like genuinely concerned if I'm alive, bro, like that is not healthy. You know what I'm saying? So, but you have to kind of accept that, like, okay, this is just a period of your life, right? And if you want to do it at a high level for the 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it is, and then be done. And be as conscious as you can be of certain things. I think a lot of people nowadays, there's been a huge swing to like being super health conscious, which is a good thing. But sometimes people online are a little unrealistic with like the frequency of getting these scans and blood work and all this stuff done. Like, most people aren't doing that, bro. And guys online talk about it. Most people aren't getting, echoes done 3-4 times a year. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not happening. I'm 27 years old. It's hard for me to get one done, period, under 30. You know what I mean? Like, I got to find the right person, the right whatever. And so, like, you kind of have to accept, like, yeah, you're playing with fire for this period of life that you're doing it, but be as smart as you can. If there are red flags that come up, like, if you get bad blood work, don't be a fucking idiot. Like, fix it first, right? Some guys will look past certain things and just like turn their head and look the other way, and that's the times like you'll see that shit catch up with people. But if something pops up, address it. Like, take your health supplements, do what you can, but you gotta be real with yourself too. Like I said, in no world is what I'm doing healthy, and I'm taking years off my life for sure, but like how many, I'm trying to minimize that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna be different too genetically, like we talked about too. Like, so meaning like someone's gonna be able to like get away with a little bit more than other people. But yeah, like I mean, no way is it healthy to be an open pro bodybuilder. And like, I think there's a good phase, like you can get in and get out type thing. You know what I mean? Like around like, you know, like 10 to 15 years. I think if you're good and cautious with your gear, you do it right, and you really don't have, like Luke said, like a lot of like, you know, red marks on your, you know, blood work all the time and stuff like that. Like, I think you can sort of get in, get out, and like probably, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I still took 10 years off my life, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
it's sort of like you sort of accept that when you, like you were saying, you just got to accept it. Like, once you start that pursuit, like I know like that's going to happen, and I'm okay with that. So I guess if you can be okay with that and accept it, you know what I mean? And sort of,
It's just like, I'd rather, like, okay, let's say I was supposed to live till I'm 90. Like, I'm cool with dying at 80. I ain't cool with dying at 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's where it's like, all right, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of guys don't come off is what the problem is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, guys do run into issues. Like, there's a lot of guys that are on way too long and off way too short. And like when they're off, it's not really they're off by much. It's like they're doing 500 megs of testosterone and like, you know, 300 megs of mastrone, you know, and like 10 units of growth hormone, and that's their cruise for 4 weeks.
Because you have to give your body a break. You know what I'm saying? And to add to that, you got to think about it like this, right? Everybody's got their vice. You understand? And I always have to remind people, because people always try to shame us bodybuilders because of gear. But if you go to the bar Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and you drinking alcohol like water, and you eating a bunch of fucking fried foods and cheese, and you're living that kind of lifestyle, you can't toot your nose up at me. You understand? Because those type of people, when I've seen it, I drove a bus, you know, and I've seen people die at retirement, right before retirement, and right after retirement from years of drinking Mountain Dew, Pepsi, eating, you know, no exercise. I'm talking about the only exercise some people get is walking to and from their fucking car. You know what I'm saying? So we're all playing with our lives in some kind of way. What I love about bodybuilding, I talked about this the other day on Facebook, is I love how it made me pay more attention to my body. Because prior to bodybuilding, I did not get blood work done. I did not pay attention to my body. I did not like to go to the doctor and all of these things. And I was fortunate enough also to get into bodybuilding, as I got with somebody who preached get the most from the least. And his practices in bodybuilding at that time weren't like normal, but now it's becoming normal because a lot of people do too much at first. And gear is just like alcohol, it's just like weed. If you do it too much, your body builds up a level of tolerance to it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to give your body breaks. It's the same thing with our digestion. You know what I'm saying? Like what we do, I always say too, what we do isn't healthy, but we try to do it as healthy as we can. But at the same time, you can be the healthiest freak in the motherfucking world, still die at 30 and 40. I know people like that. Never smoked a cigarette, never drank an alcohol, was a
like your time gonna come when your time gonna come. You know what I mean? It's just like you try to do things the right way, and you like, I know it's cheesy, but like you only got like one life. You know what I'm saying? So like you can choose your vices, you can choose what you want to do with it. I'd rather be jacked and shave 10 years off my life than not be jacked and die when I'm 80 years old, 90 years old.
Honestly, too, it's like and we're in a day and age where it's actually giving us a better life. You know what I mean? Than
Yeah.
without bodybuilding. So it gives us a lot more opportunities now, and
bro, and it gets you
more, at least rewarding than it used to be. You know what I mean? As far as that goes. So
yeah, and I know some of y'all in here can relate to this too. I mean, even just like the rigidity of the lifestyle and like the routine has gotten me through so much other shit in my life.
Right.
And like it's way, obviously y'all know this, but it's like it's way deeper than just like this physical shit of being jacked. And it teaches you a lot and it builds character and it matures you. So like I wouldn't choose nothing else. It's just, yeah, I mean, like I say bodybuilding's healthy practices, but it's taken to such an extreme that it's not healthy at all.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I eat healthy, I guess. I work out daily, I do cardio, but bro, I can barely fucking breathe, bro. Like,
At
really
extreme levels.
Yeah.
That's why, but think about it. That's why people love bodybuilding. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the natty world and the natural competitors, but do a lot of people go watch that?
No.
And it's no knock on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that to be rude or disrespectful, but people want to see the freaks. People want to see the muscle. You know what I'm saying?
I also think that, like, once again, my problems with social media has sensationalized so much. Like, prior to social media, maybe we downplayed the health risks of bodybuilding, but social media also does the opposite now, right? Like,
yeah, bro,
any jack dude is dead at 40. Like,
yeah,
that's the mantra that's like spoken.
Right.
Also, and I know this goes without being said, I mean, y'all know this, but I think people overlook this so much. Like I kind of said, like, your time will come and your time will come. So much of this whole game, as far as health is concerned too, is genetic already. Like, dude, I know guys that can, dude, I know this one kid, he blasted fucking grams of shit for like 5-6 years, never came off, nothing. Perfect blood work.
Right.
Perfect everything. Yeah. And then I know dudes that will take 300 milligrams of test and a little Anavar and they're fucked.
Yeah.
And they're bald and they're fucking got acne and I'm like,
Jesus, the worst side effects known to man.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, bro.
Put on 1 pound of muscle, if that. You know,
yeah. They just got greasy skin and no hair and no gains, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck? So like that's just so much, and that plays into health too, bro. Like your longevity in this sport, a lot of it is genetic. You could take every precaution times, known to man, but like you ain't gonna make it if you weren't supposed to. You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying. I think before you got on, Luke, I was just saying like I was blessed. I feel like with good health genetics, and we were touching on that too. And I actually was talking about I got a CT scan or a heart scan down on Florida, and a lot of you guys too. I recommend. Look down in Florida. There's a lot of places that you don't need a prescription.
I've heard that.
Down there, and it was cheaper than like up here. It's like or like up north, it was like 5,000.
Yeah,
crazy. And you gotta get it prescribed to a physician.
That's what I can't. That's what I can't get done.
It was for research purposes, so they literally charged me like I think it was actually like $50 or something. But and then so just the plane ticket, $50, and you're good. And you got my heart scan and. Everything came back 0. So that was the same place.
Sean Clarita was talking about that a couple years ago.
Yeah, those are the same. The Revive guys and Matt Jansen's guys at that time used that same spot. Yeah.
I got to do that, bro. Fuck.
Yeah. So there's a lot of places down in Florida that like do that kind of stuff, which is good. So
yeah, it's crazy.
I want to ask you something. Are you gonna do any more the Expos, Comic-Cons?
Yeah, I would like to. They actually wanted me to. The only problem is like when they do them, usually it's on the one they like to do is like this one in Atlanta. It's actually massive. It was badass, dude. It's almost like an Arnold, but like a Comic-Con. So, but it's just as big, like hundreds of thousands of people, like everywhere, dressed up like crazy. It was insane. Like really cool costumes too, like top of the line. And like the fans were crazy, bro. They liked me there more than like any bodybuilding show I've ever been to. Like, it's real, like they were just like in awe. Like and I was like pretty good shape. Like I was just coming up, like I was 10 pounds up from stage weight, so like nice and full. And people were like freaking out and shit and getting pictures with me left and right. So it was badass. But like the problem is, it's the same weekend as North Americans. So usually I'm at North Americans, or I have someone doing that show, or you know what I mean. So that's the only problem. Or hopefully one of these times I won't have to go
I've
to
never
North
been
America.
to a Comic-Con. I'm gonna have to check one out.
Oh, bro, they would.
They're fun.
Yeah, you could dress up as like something crazy, dude. Like with all the muscle, you know, it's pretty badass. It was
So
fun.
so it's basically a costume convention.
Yeah, yeah. So like everyone's dressed up as like, you know, like Superman is a popular one, Batman, like any kind of like comic book type. Like I was.
When you went, what were you?
Oh my god, this is bad. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but I was like the guy.
Weren't you
The
Kratos?
guy from
Kratos?
Weren't you Colossus or
Yeah,
Kratos?
Colossus.
Yeah.
Colossus,
Yeah, the guy from Deadpool
X-Men.
is how I know him, but he has a deeper history that I'm obviously embarrassed that I don't know like the stuff.
Don't be embarrassed.
But yeah, no, some of the guys know all like the history behind, you know what I mean? Like at these Comic-Con events, they know like everything about everything, and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, stuff, you know, I'm lost.
Yeah, didn't that guy just like that guy just hit you up online too, didn't he? And he
Yeah, he just pretty much found me and just like messaged me online, and he pretty much paid for my plane ticket out there, and then he paid for like he gave me a room at the Airbnb with like 2 other guys there, and then like they painted me up and everything with like they had like an air spray gun, you know, like all professional, and it was pretty badass. Like the guy was super talented. It came out really good. The makeup and stuff came out really good, and it was like super professional looking. Like they didn't charge. Like I mean, it just did that all and for free, and yeah, it's pretty dope. So
cool.
like they didn't pay me anything, but like it was just a free experience.
Yeah,
like,
it's a free trip. It's a good good experience.
And I had a lot of fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of cool people there. Like you meet a lot of nice people there, so
yeah,
it's pretty dope. So,
I'm gonna have to check one out. They have them in Pittsburgh sometimes, but I don't think
I definitely highly recommend it. It was a lot of fun for sure. Yeah.
It's the
And
same
I
thing
think you,
too,
bro, Mike, following my footsteps, guest posing in Maine in the fall.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
That's pretty dope.
That was my
Love that.
first guest posing ever.
Dude, that's exciting, bro. That's exciting.
I have to keep it lean after Texas for quite a while.
Right. That'll be sick though if you keep it just a little, like 10 pounds up from stage weight. That'll be a good goal.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Yeah, is anyone coaching you anyways for Tampa or Texas and Tampa?
Yeah, I do have a coach. I'll tell you off here.
I think I know.
it's a secret.
I didn't mean to blow up your spot. My bad. Anyway, no.
I did that to him a couple weeks ago, bro. You're good.
Yeah, right. It's an easy setup for sure. Easy setup. But yeah, so
yeah, that's super dope. Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So who's the promoter is who's the promoter again? I can't remember. Gino.
Gino. Yeah, Gino.
Yeah,
That's the guy who does who's the MC at
MC, right? Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, I know that dude. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that time. That's a perfect time to get that. That time slot's perfect. Like in the year, you know what I mean? Like what was it? Like September or October?
Yeah, I think it's
a week before New England.
Dude, that's perfect. That's like a great spot. Like people will turn out for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people will use it as a warm up for New England.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously the promoter prior to this, Scott, wasn't great. So now that it's Gino, I think they gave him the national qualifier tag for the show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Y'all get nervous at all guest posing, or y'all really care?
I haven't had too bad. I mean, I guess a little bit, but honestly, I guess like as long as I'm prepared, then I'm good. But like sometimes I'll be like underprepared, and then I'll be like shitting my pants a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I got sort of like, oh fuck, like I should have like done a lot more preparation. And then the time comes, like, you know how it is. It's easy to put off and be like, oh, I'm gonna practice.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're there, and you're like, oh shit.
So last year, Jason Arnt asked me to guest pose for his show, and it was right after I won my pro card. And I said, I respectfully will not guest pose because I just don't want like the super heavy being like bigger than me.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? Like go out there and the crowd be like, "Yo, a bunch of super heavy."
That's kind of what I'm saying, bro. Like,
when's his show? You could probably do it this year, though, right?
What's that?
You could probably do it this year, though, right? When is his show?
Yeah, possibly.
Luckily, I'd say every show that I've guest posed at, I was like significantly bigger than like most like anyone's show, so that was good.
Yeah.
So, but I would definitely, I know what you're saying though, for sure. Like if I was a heavyweight or just turned, because you were what 220 or
20, yeah. So
I mean, you weren't even like, I mean, so once you're a super though, then it'll be legit, you know, like your stage weight for a pro will probably be like 235, you think, right?
Yeah, I think I'll be about. I'd like to think between 235 and 240 this year.
Yeah, like a solidified super, you'll be, you know what I mean, like a fucking obviously a pro, but you know what I mean, like that's physique, you know. So that'll be sick.
I'm definitely going to that show. I'm going to heckle the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a good turnout, you know, like as far as like and like who does it, you know, like that'll be interesting to see like names, you know, like because it's your pro debut, it's fun, you know, to like who you're going to get up against and who you're going to compete with. Like it's fun as hell to like. I got some dope pictures with like I got one with like William Bonac, Steve Kuklo, like you know what I'm saying. Like that's fucking dope as hell. Like pics with some dope bodybuilders that do it. You know what I mean? Like Del Rosa, you know he'll probably do Tampa.
I'd like to see like you know
cool
to step on stage,
become your rivals.
Yeah. I don't know if Andrew Jack will be my rival, but
you trying to beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to beat them.
You know he's gonna have to do Texas, right? So
yeah, he's gonna for sure. So that'll be crazy to stand like.
Oh, dude, just to be like see him backstage, like
for sure. Yeah,
insane.
Yeah, I've heard he's like the freakiest dude backstage to see.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh, who, Andrew Jack?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I saw him when I did the amateur show of the Tampa Pro in 2022. I saw him backstage, and it was just nuts. Like it was just like Jesus.
That's what I heard.
Just a huge human being.
Isn't it crazy when like you feel you get to a certain size and you're like, okay, I'm legitly big, and then you just see somebody and it still has that impact in your mind of like, how the fuck are you? How the fuck did you add that much more to your body than that?
Yeah,
bro, because I already feel like I don't fit places anymore. Like nothing. I can't find no clothes, bro. And I'm like, how are people bigger than me? Like,
right.
That's why when people tell me I'm big, I say no, I'm not. Respectfully, no, I'm not.
I say the same thing,
not
bro.
big. Right? I've seen big, and when pictures and videos do people know justice, like I'll never forget my Olympia experience in my life. That was looking at the best bodybuilders in the world. Like there's nothing, no video or picture can give me that feeling to see that.
Who would you say has the most impact as far as size wise that you've seen in person? Each one of you, go around, Mike.
For me, it had to be Justin Rodriguez when I saw him.
That's a good one. He's big.
Like, what the fuck? Shoulder to shoulder, I've never seen somebody take up space like that.
So fucking wide, right?
Yeah, are you talking about at the Boston Pro?
No, just like the freakiest person that's ever had an impact on you.
Yeah.
Just like
No. But I mean, like Mike, when you saw him, like.
No, it wasn't at Boston. I think it was. I think it was at Universe, and he was coaching somebody. He wasn't even stripped down, bro. He was in a fucking
massive in the shirt.
I have to say, it was probably William Bonac at the Boston Pro.
Dude, seriously, right?
Fucking nuts at that show.
Dude, backstage, his fucking arms are so
huge.
stupid, and his forearms, like what the fuck? So much muscle on a small frame. It's just like wild.
And now you look back at it because Nate, you did that show. Regan Grimes did that show. Samson did that show.
Right.
Like now you're looking at Samson as like the Omega now, and it's like fucking.
Oh yeah. I'll say Akeem was massive as fucking Toronto. He's massive.
Yeah, I've heard Akeem in person's crazy too.
Yeah. Y'all heard my story. I saw him at
or the microwave.
Yeah, you carry a microwave and you make it look like a loaf of bread. You a big motherfucker. You a big motherfucker, dog.
Yeah.
But for me, I got to see, God rest his soul, Dallas McCarver before he passed.
Oh, bro.
And let me tell you,
Dude,
he was one of those people that I took pictures of him with my professional camera. I still have them.
Yeah.
He was different.
Oh,
He was different, and he was agile. He wasn't big and sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Like he was big and agile and was just a bubbly dude. You know what I'm saying? By far.
Oh yeah, I saw him in person just walking around at nationals one year, and I was like, dude, just so massive, like takes up so much space, and he's taller than you think. You know what I mean? Like because he's massive, tall. Yeah,
those are the guys that are most impressive, are the ones that are tall.
Cedric was like that too. Cedric was like massive in person. If you ever saw Cedric in person,
yeah, I've seen like I've seen like Keon and Sean and all them in person, and they're freaks. But when you're like 4 feet tall, you can only take up so much space.
Right.
But I saw like Sergio. I think I said this on here.
Oh yeah,
he was getting ready. He was getting ready for the Arnold in 2020, right before everything happened. I was out in San Diego, and the motherfucker was doing cardio on a bike, and he was resting his arms on each of the bikes beside him. He was so fucking wide, and I was like, bro, this shit is retarded.
He's a big dude. Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's wide as fuck.
Yeah.
Like he's he's big because he'll be 300 pounds like on stage and small.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how big his frame is.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
And, in 2003, I met Ronnie Coleman like weeks after he destroyed everybody at the Olympia, and he was like 330.
Ain't nobody gonna beat that.
I was 18, and I was like, you know, maybe 160 pounds at the time, and he was just sitting there signing autographs, and like the bicep vein was like a garden hose in his and I was just sitting there just staring at him. Like that was hands down the freakiest person I ever saw. And
none of us are gonna beat that, bro.
I mean, I couldn't imagine seeing him in person in his prime.
It was unreal. The only other person that kind of came close was Marcus Rule that I met, and I got to. He was doing an appearance at a GNC, so whenever he went to go get food, I went with him. And this motherfucker was wider than he was tall. I mean,
this dude met the two biggest freaks.
Yeah,
in the history of sport.
Yeah. I mean, it was nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the size.
If you could name two guys that are the freakiest freaks, is those two guys.
I got pictures of both of them. It's awesome. It was good.
Chris, what about young, like early Jay Cutler? Because I know you know Jay from back in the day. He must have been massive in person.
Jay was really big. I met him in 2007 after he finally beat Ronnie, and he did a signing. And he was, I mean, he's obviously not as tall as like Ronnie or Marcus, but like there is that little like physical mass that you can feel when they're taller. But I mean, his shoulders were just nuts.
Man, crazy.
But I'll tell you this one person, it was at the Olympia in 2015. I was at the iForce booth with Ian Valier, and Justin Compton walked by.
Oh, God.
And dude, me and Ian looked at each other and looked at him. We're just like, what the fuck? I mean, that dude looked nuts. I think he was close to 300 pounds, but he wasn't that. Like, and his skin was almost like see-through because he's just such grainy skin texture. It's nuts.
Arms and shoulders are crazy on that shit.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's that white guy with black guy genetics. Like, he Justin's crazy
rap, bro.
His rear delts too are wild too. If you ever like look at them, like
they're like double like off. They're good.
I'll shout out another dude too. I saw at USA's this year whose biggest fucking person is, y'all know Joe Palacios. He's big as shit. Like pictures don't do that kid justice, bro. Like he was, because like he just turned pro, whatever. And he's like on his way up, but like he's a thicker dude overall, and he's in pictures that you can't really see, but in person, that motherfucker, he walks around in a tank top. He's big as shit, bro.
Yeah, he's massive. Yeah,
he's a big kid. Yeah. But yeah, he impressed me when I saw him this year.
Yeah.
What about you, Brendan? Anybody particular?
No, I said William Bonac.
Oh, you said? Oh, yeah.
Bonac got that Boston Pro.
That was so good. I wish we could have Boston Pro back. That'd be fun.
Yeah, 1 year, bro. All the promotion, bro.
Right.
He still owes people money too. The promoter, he's a scumbag.
So what happened to that? Because I thought that was going to be something that was going to.
Didn't they say wasn't like Akon supposed to perform or some shit like that?
He fucking did.
Dude, he scammed people for like millions of dollars before. Yeah, you can Google the guy.
You can Google him, man. He was selling.
Yeah, I think it was through Google is where he got the scam from.
So how did everything get set up? Did people not get paid?
People did not get paid. On top of that, too, like all the hotel rooms had microwaves, and he was charging the athletes like $50 to $100 for a microwave, from what I heard.
What the fuck, bro? That's crazy work.
I will say though, the show was fucking amazing. Like
it was a good ass show.
Good. It was well run. It was an awesome show.
Somebody had said that Jay was going to try and get it back in Boston.
I think I heard him say something at some point. Yeah, I did actually.
He said it on a podcast. I remember.
Yeah, I think it's on his podcast at some point.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him.
Yeah, let's go.
I bet at some point.
Him and like Jose should team up and promote it or something.
Right. That'd be perfect.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
I think it's time for my last meal, and we've been on for like an hour and a half now.
Yeah.
Bedtime soon for me. I gotta get this last one down and finally chill out for the night. My high's wearing off. I gotta get it back.
Pleasure to meet you, Nate.
You too, brother.
Talk to you, chop it up. I stopped you a follow on the gram. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
definitely a huge fan. So
we'll run into each other at a show for sure, bro. Definitely.
Yes, most definitely. This is dope. That's why I love doing this.
Later, bro.
Thank you for coming on, Nate.
Later, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, Nate.
Hey, fellas.
All right, fellas.
Good night.